Hi guys, good afternoon. I don't know if my vlog from this morning has finished uploading or not. It was quite a long video. But I believe I mentioned previously that I saw my cardiologist today. Obviously, if that vlog is already up and you've watched it, you will have known that. Yeah, went to the appointment, and turns out I was there for a lot longer than I wanted to be. Obviously, nobody wants to be at the hospital for an appointment in general. I was expecting a half hour to 45-minute appointment. Turned out to be over 2 hours. Yeah, so we got there, and Beebs and I waited in the waiting room for, I want to say, like 20 minutes. Eventually the nurse called me back. She did the usual, asked me about medications and the usual stuff that the nurse does. Took blood pressure, blood oxygen, all of that stuff. And anyway, getting to the point, my cardiologist came in, and he again mentioned the echo. I told you guys about that in this morning's vlog, if that's even up yet, if you've watched it. And I told him that I had called cardiology and was like, hey, like, my doctor had requested an echo. Like, is that happening? I just want to know so I can show up on time. And they were like, the Heart Institute will call and schedule that, and it doesn't look like there's been an echocardiogram scheduled. So he was like, oh, well, that's really weird. Like, I ordered it back in December, like last time I saw you. Would you mind if I, like, asked if they could squeeze you in? Like, sometimes they can, other times they can't because they're busy. And I was like, fuck it, yeah, I'm already here. Like, I don't want to come back a different day. I dread coming as it is, let alone twice in the same week. So he was able to call the Heart Institute where they do the echo scans, and they were able to squeeze me in for the echo. So once I was finished with my doctor, I had also gotten an EKG, which is just like, if you have a heart condition, or if you know somebody with a heart condition, maybe even if you've had an EKG, you know what it is. But it's basically where they stick the little stickers all over you, and it just, I don't know what it does. It's just a scan. So I had that, and that came out looking good. And then I left his office, waited at the across the hall in the Heart Institute place, heart failure clinic, and I eventually went back with the tech that does the scan, I guess. If you've never had an echocardiogram, it's basically just like an ultrasound for your heart. Very cool to watch. It's very fascinating, but they basically do the same thing they would with an ultrasound. They put the jelly on. It's warm. I guarantee they put it in a warmer. It feels so good when they put it on. Anyway, the only thing that sucks is you're naked from ass up. So they can put the gel on you, like no bra. You're in a hospital gown that's open at the back. Anyway, not the point. Laid down, they have you lay on your left side with your arm up above your head like this, just relaxed. And it's basically where they take pictures of different areas of your heart. This time I did get a full study. I believe in this morning's vlog, if you've seen that, if it's even up yet, I talked about how I've had partial studies and I've only had one full study, but today was another full study. So they did that, took about, I want to say like 30 to 45 minutes. The worst part was the IV. They have to inject an IV with contrast for part of the scan, to basically light up your heart, and so they can see in the smaller ventricles and all the chambers and whatever. So yeah, I do have a battle wound. I say battle wound, I've been through worse, but it definitely hurt. They had to go in my wrist because my veins are shitty. Anyway, that was all over with. At least I got to lay down for almost an hour. And then I ended up going back over to the cardiology unit, and I basically was like, hey, like, I don't know if my doctor wanted me to come back and talk to him. Usually he likes me to see him after the fact. And he ended up wanting to talk to me. Basically, getting to the point of this video, I didn't get the best news. It wasn't necessarily terrible news. I was torn up. I was freaking out over it since I got home. But I talked to my dad, I had a really good conversation with my dad, and it helped a lot. My dad was there with my mom through her entire scary, brutal, horrifying, nightmare fuel fight with heart disease. So he fucking knows better than anybody else how scary it is. He witnessed it probably the closest to anyone, compared to anyone out of our family when my mom went through it. Anyway, had a good conversation with him. But basically what my cardiologist had to say was, the good news is that my heart hasn't gotten any worse. Last July 2025, my heart had an ejection fraction, which is basically the ejection percentage that your heart pumps, like the amount of blood, the percentage of blood, oh my god, that your heart pumps out every time it like expands and contracts like this. So it's the amount of blood that it's pushing out. Normal is 55 to 60%. That's a normal functioning heart's ejection fraction. Okay, this is just for my research. I'm not a fucking doctor. Anyway, so since last July, my heart has plateaued at around 40% ejection fraction. So 40% function rate, okay? That's great. I love that. Which is technically heart failure. Also love that. I'm trying to be like funny, but I promise you I'm scared as fuck. Anyway, so basically he told me that it hasn't made any improvements since July. But the good news was that it hasn't gotten any worse, which is obviously awesome. Now what really tore me up was the blood clot that I had back last year, only 6 or 7 months into my fight with heart problems, heart disease. I had a blood clot in the lower chamber of my heart. I don't remember what he called it. There's a certain doctor term for the blood clot itself, like the area that it's in. Don't remember. Anyway, he said that the blood clot that I had, that I was on a blood thinner called Eliquis for several months, is back. It has returned. I haven't been on the blood thinner for a while now, several months at this point. It's back, same size, not any bigger. Doesn't look like it's moving around at all. Obviously, the main concern is the blood clot dislodging and moving up into the aorta. If you've ever seen a diagram of a human heart, wait, I'll show you. Luckily, I have a fucking heart diagram. Anyway, he drew it on the whiteboard, but this is more detailed, so I guess this is better. Left ventricle, right ventricle, and then obviously your whatever's up here, your aorta. So basically the clot for me is down here, in this wall of the left ventricle of my heart. And his main concern is that he doesn't want the blood clot dislodging and moving up here into this little thing, which as you can see is the aorta, because that will cause a stroke. It can go to the brain and obviously, like I said, cause a stroke. Oh my god, I love having visuals. Anyways, so it is back. That being said, he put me back on the blood thinner that I was on. It's called Eliquis. Twice a day, once in the morning, once at night. He was able to get me some samples of the Eliquis because it is very expensive in my life. So luckily they were able to give me this. It doesn't have any of my information, so I guess I can show you. But this is what it looks like. My dad's actually on the same blood thinner for his blood clots that he has in his leg. Anyway, this is what it looks like. I took one right after the appointment because he wanted me to. And then I'll take another one tonight with my nightly dose. These don't have to be in order or anything, so that's good. I'm probably just going to pop them out. They look like this. As you can see, I took one, popped them out, put them in my day and night pill container, and move forward like I did when I was on the Eliquis the first time. It sucks. It's really unfortunate. I was absolutely terrified. I still am. The terror and the horror of it doesn't really go away. But I think what got me more than anything was him. This is the second appointment where he said something along the lines of, "You don't need a heart transplant anytime soon, but in the future it could be a possibility." That is terrifying for fucking anybody to hear. It's rough. It's not an easy situation. It's not a fun thing to think about. Obviously, a transplant in general is terrifying, let alone the chances of surviving. That's also terrifying to think about. So yeah, just awful, terrifying, horrifying, nightmare fuel. I've had to live this nightmare twice. Lived it with my mom and my dad, even more so than me, I can say with confidence. Yeah, just sucks. Now I'm in a similar situation. I'm not even going to compare because my mom's fight was horrifying and brutal and just, she fought like hell. But obviously, heart disease in any form is fucking terrifying. So yeah, I just ask you guys for maybe if you have heart problems and you have any advice, maybe something that's worked for you, that's helped your heart improve. If you have heart disease, heart failure, whatever heart condition, leave it in the comments. Let me know what's worked for you and what's helped you improve. Maybe we can talk to each other, give each other some reassurance. But yeah, that's basically an update. I did tell you guys I would update after the fact. Here I am. You're welcome. But yeah, so not the best appointment, not what I was hoping for. Definitely hard to accept. I'm not in a good mood. You guys can probably tell that I just feel off. But my dad had texted me and asked me how my appointment was, and I told him, like, not the best. I'm fucking terrified. And then he ended up calling me, and we had a really good conversation. He told me basically, like, I'm not trying to talk down your situation because it's fucking terrifying for anybody, let alone somebody who's fucking 25 years old. Anyways, he basically told me, like, at least it hasn't gotten worse. Like, take that and fucking run with it. Like, at least you're not being admitted. You don't have to go under surgery. Like, it's not critical at this point. Yeah, it's bad news. It fucking sucks. It's fucking terrifying, but don't let it control your life. Like, go out, live your life to the best of your abilities. Do what you're capable of. Live your best life. Don't let it fucking ruin your life. Don't let it fucking ruin your personality, your spirit, your strength, any of that. My mom told me the same thing before she passed away, and that was the last conversation I had with her, and I will hold on to that forever. So not only am I taking my mom's advice in this moment, but I'm taking the wonderful, loving, caring, supportive advice that my dad just gave me. So yeah, that's an update on my appointment. Definitely not the best news, but we're getting through it. Like I said, if you or anyone else you know has battled heart disease, heart failure, rhythm disorders, any of that, heart problems in general, I guess, leave me a comment down below and tell me if you're comfortable. Tell me about your fight or your loved one's fight with this evil, brutal, awful, terrifying disease. So we can communicate with each other and be there for each other, lean on one another. Yeah. To anyone who is going through a fight with heart disease, I am here for you 100%. I know how it is. I'm going through it myself at a very young age, with prior trauma from heart disease. So, yeah, trying to stay positive. Thankful for my dad and Nicole and my support system. But yeah, I'm going to do everything I can do to better myself and hopefully help strengthen my heart. But until then, there's really nothing I can control. So, we're going to stay positive. Try not to let it consume me, because it already partly has since I left the hospital. But yeah, all of that being said, that is my cardiology update. Not the best one, but here we are. I hope you guys are having a good day. I hope you are doing what you love and enjoying your day, spending time with the people you love. Yeah, if you're going through anything health related or not, I'm here 100%. I support you. I'm always willing to talk to any of you beautiful souls. So yeah, I love you guys. Like I always say, don't forget to always express what you're thankful for. Drink your water, take your meds, and if your posture's bad, fix it. I'm wearing my Friends Fight shirt. And until next time, I will see you guys soon. Much love. Mwah. Bye.